Hello, welcome to the series about Rugby League betting review. Super Saturday today in both the Middle 8 and the Super 8. The Middle 8 kicks off, Super 8 carries on. First up, really fascinating game at Featherstone, where obviously champions Leeds are the visitors. I've been big shocked that Leeds are now in the Middle 8. I know they've had troubles of injuries all season now. I mean, 24-point start that Leeds are conceding on the handicap here, and obviously it's very hard to tell the actual true difference between the Championship and Super League. So, probably, I think if you're just watching this game and see what kind of margins it is, the only real form guide I've got on this is probably when Batley played Catalans in the Cup a few months ago. I think Catalan won by 36, so quite convincing. Obviously, Batley are um, now in the middle eights as well. Finished pretty much the same kind of points as Featherstone. So you'd have to say, that probably that might maybe be a bit of a good form guide, that one. Like I said, I think Leeds are probably up there with where Catalan were at that time now. I mean, they're on a decent run now in Super League. I mean, they've beaten Wigan and Hull in the last few weeks. So I mean, they're getting back, but they're getting players back as well. Obviously, they're getting Moon, Delaney, and Maguire back for this one. Interestingly, the Leeds have loaned two players to Featherstone, Bulwerson and Luke Briscoe. And you'd imagine that possibly Leeds would have said that they couldn't play against them. Maybe they didn't even think about that when they agreed to the loan at the start of the season. They didn't think they'd be playing Featherstone in the Middle East. This was never going to be a scenario, but they do line up against the Rhinos, so maybe they could hurt they could hurt the paymasters there. But like I say, I probably think looking at that Catalan game against Bali, that's probably the form guy to look at in this. They won by 36, so I think Leeds will win this by more than 24. They want to put down a marker for this Middle Eight. If they win this game, then for the next 6 at home, they'll probably be thinking that they should be all right. I don't think they'll be taking anything for granted. It'll be a decent game. Well, Featherstone fans looking for a shot, you can get 10-1 your side to win. Obviously, Leeds are looking at 1-16, 16-1 on, but £16 only win a pound. You can't really have a bet on that. But this could be a really intriguing game. I think early doors it could be quite feisty. I think Featherstone want to get at Leeds, but you do think getting early in the second half, Leeds' class will tell. So yeah, probably just I don't like big handicaps, but Leeds conceding 24 is kind of you'd probably say they'll probably cover that. Now the second game live on Sky is to the Super 8. Catalan, who just can't buy one. I think they lost the last 6 in Super League now. They've got caught by St Helens, so they've lost the extra home game in the Super 8. They don't look anywhere near like getting into the semi-finals at the end of the season for the playoffs. At one stage, it looked like they'd be bagging themselves a home semi. Remember the trip to Old Trafford? They look way away from that now. Getting a few players back, I think. Aiton and Bosca back for this one, but Henry comes back for Widnes. They had a fairly comfortable win at home, against Widnes earlier on in the season. But the last game of Super League a few weeks ago, Widnes absolutely battered them. They scored over 32 points and they won by 28 points against Catalan. They just in no kind of form. The home side conceding 12-point start against Widnes. Who, the last two of the last three Widnes in Super League, but very unlucky to lose at Saints. They beat Leeds. I mean, they've absolutely battered Castleford away from home in the last few games in Super League, so they've done really well, Widnes. So I think they could probably stay inside a 12-point handicap. And obviously, it is really hard going to France. It's very hot as well. But 3-1 for Widnes. I mean, I imagine their fans will fancy that. Their away form's not been too bad at all. But I think maybe Catalan might just nick it. But I do think that Widnes can definitely stay inside a 12-point handicap, definitely. And finally, you've got another intriguing game in the middle. This is not on telly, this one, but it's Leigh against London. The Leigh conceding 10-point start on a handicap, pretty much the same prices as the Widnes Catalan game. Leigh 1-4 and London about 3-1. I mean, London have really took the foot off the pedal in the last few weeks with the second place pretty much assured in the Championship. Leigh were miles away because they won at London about 4 or 5 games to the end of the season. That pretty much guaranteed them the Championship. That third time in the row they've won. That's really well done, the Centurions. So obviously, Leigh were having nightmares about what happened in the Super 8 last year the Middle 8 last year when they only won 1 game. They won't want to repeat that. But again, look at it's 10-point handicap. You look at Leigh's games against the other teams that made the Middle 8. You've got Featherstone, Batley, and London. They only won by 4 points twice and by 7. On this handicap's 10, which means the good sides have gone to the Leigh Sports Village. You've done okay, So you probably think, looking at that form, that London might just stay inside the 10. You've got to fancy Leeds to be very nervous. Obviously, what happened against Hull last year, they were miles clear at half time, then they got caught, ended up losing the second half, and obviously the rest is just history. So, I think there could be a lot of pressure on Leigh. They'll want to start well, but I think they'll just want to win the game, and they've done that really well this season. There were a lot of close games last year under Paul Rowley. They won a lot of games by quite easy, but there's been quite a lot of close games involving Leigh this year. They've still managed to get home. So like I say, 3-1 London. You probably say no. Lee probably should start with a win, but again, you might just take the 10-point start and the handicap. But they're all good games to watch. These it could be quite tough. But for me, I do think Leeds will cover the 24-point handicap against Featherstone. Maybe Widnes may just stay inside the 12 at Catalan, and again, London may just stay inside the 10 at Lee. But it should be a fascinating day of, like I say, what I call Super Saturday today in the middle eights and the Super Eights. Have a really good day. And we'll be back next week. The Super Eights start again on Thursday. We'll see you then. See you later.